What's poppin' knights? It's OnoKage, otherwise known as the King. And I come to you with another exciting part 2. What if the Uzumaki clan survived? Now, this part is titled Foolish Kage. It's part 13, and we're going to go through some really big changes from the story. I wanted to develop and diverge a bit more from normal here, because if you didn't hear it, when this part gets, when this What If series gets to the little time skip part, to know the what that's coming back, the what that everybody wants, what if Goku and Vegeta train Naruto and Sasuke? It'll be back as soon as this gets to its time skip. I have the first 2 parts ready. I can't release them yet because I want to get at least 5 ready, because I'm trying to work on my upload schedule. You don't know how hard it is to get a consistent upload schedule. Sorry. I envy YouTubers, and I'm jealous of gaming YouTubers because I assume that it's easier. Other than that, I think it's time to get into it. So let's get started with the recap. Let's go. Last time on What If the Uzumaki clan survived, Jiraiya took Naruto, Sasuke, and Nozomi on a journey to retrieve Lady Tsunade in need of her medical services after the attack on the leaf orchestrated by Orochimaru, wherein he manipulated the Sound and Cloud villages to join in on the assault. Our heroes survived, but not without their own difficulties. Naruto, letting the fox take control of him more and more. Sasuke, losing himself further in his own rage. Nozomi, losing her ability to use her Sharingan and Fuingan. They traveled with Jiraiya not only to retrieve Tsunade to restore their village, but also to restore themselves. But back in the Leaf, politics in the Leaf have transitioned smoothly, with Fugaku becoming the stand-in Hokage, and Shinjiro his right hand and aide. However, Fugaku plans on leaving the village to write off 2 names from his bingo book, that being Obito Uchiha and Orochimaru. He plans to do this once Minato has recovered, but he keeps this secret from his family and friends. And all the while, Jiraiya trains the kids, teaching them in the ways of meditation. As they reach the village to rest, they're assaulted by the Akatsuki members, a shorter man who Jiraiya identified as Hiroko, the treacherous leech from the Leaf, and Kisame, the tailless-tailed beast. We now continue. In the aftermath of the attack in the hotel, so many things have changed since the Uzumaki clan has survived, the Third Great Ninja War. Let's continue to explore these differences. In this episode, The Foolish Kage. Let's get into it! Woo!
Don't have time to waste, the king is into beast mode. Your ninjas better hide away before I drop the beast bomb. Not to win this fairy tale, I got the heat flow. Back the lead in the trunks, I got the heat dome. Got the flow going crazy, that's a shuttle clone. I switch it up and interchange, yeah, that's how the story goes. Sharingan or Rinnegan, pick one. Either way, you'll stay gone, cause bygones ain't bygones. Then in my hand, make your all go and run. If I just pull that rock, you are so stay like a Picasso. These hands is napalm. Fuck around and find out what I breathe with the sample. With the greats, I can ape you a prince. Oh, I'm a king, what you tell me with no prince? Look, got the knife right behind me in the back. Still gonna fall down when the dogs attack. Oh, like you know, see, I'm the leader of the pack. So what you lay down, bitch, pay respect. Hey.
Naruto, Sasuke, and Nozomi are all focusing on their recent defeat against the Akatsuki members, Hiruko and Kisame. As they continue to travel with Jiraiya, they're uncomfortably silent until Jiraiya breaks the tension. Listen, I understand that must have been scary, but you have to know, that's your life now. Nozomi questions, what does he mean? So Jiraiya further elaborates. Simply we'll start with Sasuke. The Uchiha have been high-class targets for assassination for years, their eyes fetching a high price on the black market. And not to mention, Hiriko, the Akatsuki member you just met, has the ability to steal Kage Genkai. Since you showed him your Susanoo, you're definitely a high on his list of leech targets right now. So it's safe to assume he'll be hunting for you too. Sasuke sharply exhales in surprise. He's not realized his people have been prosecuted as objects. As Nozomi again questions, wait, so since I couldn't use my Sharingan or Fuingan, does that mean he doesn't know that I'm a target? Jiraiya says, no, on the contrary. Once they learn of your lineage, or even of your abilities, it's fair to assume that you'll be more valuable than any Uchiha before you.
With your ability to merge your dojutsu, the Sharp Fumingan I believe you call it, you have yet to fully tap into its power. So it's safe to assume that once they develop and grow, you'll be more desirable as a target and hunted down for your power. Nozumi looks down as they walk. Growing to understand her position in the world a bit more, she tightens her fist as Jiraiya begins to address Naruto. And Naruto, you've always been a target. Having the 9 tails inside of you has always made you a target for the Akatsuki. They've been hunting Jinchuriki for years. The only reason you've been safe is because of your father, Nagato, and Itachi. But seeing as how most of them are indisposed at the moment, you're going to be on their list to hunt down soon. And that's about the gist of it. All 3 of you are targets of the Akatsuki. All 3 of you were born with prices on your heads and targets on your backs. And you just have to live with that. Jiraiya stops. He turns around to see that all 3 of them had stopped moving. As Naruto asks his uncle, "Uncle, what even is the fox anyway?" To which Jiraiya responds, feeling no need to coddle the boy. The 9-tailed fox was a beast feared for generations, many falling before its terrifying power. The fox is hailed as a demon and believed to be the most powerful out of all the tailed beasts. Naruto, hearing this, drops his usually happy demeanor, wearing a serious, determined face as he holds his fist in the air and states, "Oh, is that all? We have targets on our backs. Then the answer's simple. We just need to get stronger, right? To kick the stuffing out of those Akatsuki guys and any other would-be attacker. Strong enough to protect ourselves and each other. You know?" Nozumi then walks up to Naruto. She holds her fist in the air up with his. As she says, "You're right, Naruto. And once I get my power back, those Akatsuki guys are done for." And Sasuke walks up to the 2 of them, turning his head to the side as to not look at them, but raising his fist alongside his team. As he states, "Man, you 2 are such losers. You have to realize we have more to protect than just ourselves. The whole village is counting on us. And even more so, I would defend the Uchiha. My people are not mere objects sold for our eyes. The Uchiha are worth more than their disgusting, greedy hands deserve." All 3 then look at each other and smile ear to ear, aside from Sasuke, who just smirks. Naruto puts his arms around their shoulders and tells Jiraiya, "So you better believe it, Uncle. No matter what challenge comes at us, Team 7 will always face it head on." Jiraiya smiles as he thinks to himself, "Well, I'll be. These kids really have grown. They're going to be amazing ninja." He then says aloud, "Stronger, you say? How are you idiots going to do that when you can barely pull off meditation? But you have improved, and especially you, Sasuke. So a promise is a promise. I'll teach you all a move unique to yourself. But we have to learn on the go, so let's move." They yell, "Yes, sir," as they keep moving. They continue to travel, and Jiraiya gives instruction. So, all 3 of you have basic understanding of chakra nature and nature transformation. You utilize it well in battle. However, that's only the basics they teach you in the academy. The real use of chakra natures is in mixing them to enhance a previous jutsu or create a new one. I myself have created around 3. Nozumi and Naruto run up to Jiraiya saying, "Show us!" But Jiraiya says no, there's no time. He then looks at them and says, "No, see now what I want you to do is think about the jutsu. What purpose do you need it to serve? What abilities do you need to activate this jutsu? Let the ideas speak to you while we search for Tsunade. I want you to meditate in the meantime to make that idea clearer. And once you have the image, find me. We'll bring it to life. But we're here. From the sources I spoke with, she's been spotted in this village." Naruto, Sasuke, and Nozumi are shocked when they hear this, thinking to themselves that Jiraiya was actually doing his job while he was flirting with that weird chick. But they shake their heads and dismiss this thought while they go into the village gates with Jiraiya. He bends down and urges the kids to get close. They do, and Jiraiya whispers, "This will be real ninja work, like you should have learned in school. Information gathering. We're going to split up and explore this village. Use the skills you've learned to find any information you can on the whereabouts of our target." Sasuke asks, "What do we know about her? What defining features does she have?" And Jiraiya pauses, standing up to scratch his chin. He then turns his face because he grows a nosebleed, as he says, 106, 58, and 89. Naruto asks, "What does that mean, Uncle?" But Nozumi and Sasuke pause for a second, thinking, before Nozumi blushes and yells, "Those are her measurements, you perv! Do you have any details that aren't so gross?" Naruto and Sasuke then silently look at Jiraiya, as Jiraiya looks back at them, kneeling back down. And they all three understand, without having to say words, that she's huge. Jiraiya agrees, nodding with the two boys, as Nozumi yells, "Come on, pervy sage, we need more details." Jiraiya groans, saying fine. She's blind, and she has a reputation. She's known as the gambling queen who never wins. The legendary sucker. When the sun starts to set, we'll meet up here again. But for now, dismissed. All four go their separate ways. And while they discuss this, Tsunade is faced with an agonizing decision by Orochimaru and his assistant. As Tsunade speaks, the tension in the air is quite palpable. "It's been a long time, hasn't it, Orochimaru?" Orochimaru stands across from her, confidently folding his arms, as he states, "It sure has, Tsunade. I've been searching everywhere for you. For quite some time, in fact." Tsunade's patience is starting to run thin. Through gritted teeth, she says, "And what do you want from me after all these years? You look healthy enough. You just come back to tell stories of the good old days." Orochimaru smirks. "Actually, I've come to ask you a favor." Tsunade smiles, now knowing she has some leverage and bargaining room. She states, "And what trouble have you gotten yourself into?" And coldly, Orochimaru drops his smile and says, "Oh, nothing much really. I had planned to kill the third Hokage, but the fourth got in the way. So now he resides on his deathbed. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I have a child by the name of Kirimaru that desperately needs your aid." Tsunade gasps before scowling at her old teammate. "Impossible. That can't be true." But Orochimaru's smile returns, as he states, "Oh, come now, Tsunade. Stop shooting me that dirty look. You know as well as I do that I have never lied to you. And besides, if my plan didn't fail and they perished at my hand, it would just be natural law. All things that have form must one day decay, even men. But suffice to say, you already know that better than anyone, don't you, Tsunade? After all, you let the two most precious to you march off to their deaths. And I must say, it was a terrible way for them to die." But Shizune, her assistant, at this moment yells "Scum!" as she rushes into attack, launching needles from her concealed holster on her wrist. But they were stopped by Kabuto, who jumps in to deflect the attack, but Shizune's assault isn't finished. She rushes in to stab Orochimaru with a scalpel, but Kabuto jumps in to halt the attack by killing the woman. They both extend their weapons to each other's throats, but Shizune is centimeters away from Kabuto's throat when Tsunade yells, "Shizune, stand down!" She immediately retreats, backing off to stand in front of her master. As Tsunade vents her frustration, rearing her fist back and striking the wall behind her, demolishing it. She scowls, a face full of disgust, as she yells, "Leave! And never show your face to me again, or I shall kill you where you stand." Orochimaru just stands, smiling, only proving to piss Tsunade off further as she yells, "I've told you once already. Get the hell out of my sight!" But Kabuto yells, "I'm afraid that's impossible. Kimimaru is too valuable." But Tsunade's patience is not allowing her to listen. She offers just a few more warnings as she says, "Get out of here." But Kabuto again pleads, "You're the only one that can heal Kimimaru. His sickness is too—" "I'm warning you." Tsunade cuts him off, her lip curled in frustration, as Kabuto yells, "We're not asking for charity. We can make a deal here." Tsunade offers one last warning at this moment. "I'm going to count to 5, and I suggest you leave before I get to 1. Kabuto pleads, "Let's all remain calm here. If you just 5. Kabuto, feeling her immense pressure, shut up. As she continues, he knows Orochimaru isn't fully healed from his wounds. They might not win head on. 4. She continues to count, the silence only broken by the gradually decreasing numbers. 3. Tsunade tightens her focus, getting ready to attack, but Orochimaru stands his ground. 2. Shizune pulls out a blade, ready to fight, to kill if need be. And 1. Tsunade lunges to attack, but Orochimaru halts her in place, saying, I'm offering to bring back your little brother and your beloved. Tsunade and Shizune stop in their tracks, as Kabuto smiles, knowing that they now have the upper hand. And Orochimaru continues, with the forbidden jutsu that I have developed. Tsunade is dumbfounded, as she's now open to listen to his offer. And Orochimaru gloats. I can't help but notice you haven't chased us away. I suppose it's safe to assume we have a deal then. That's when they hear footsteps, gradually getting faster. When they turn their heads to see a girl with purple hair running at incredible speeds, she jumps in, attempting to kick Orochimaru, but she's stopped by Kabuto, who looks at the girl and smiles. But she kicks back, with the face contorted with rage, her eyes flickering in and out of the Sharingan. As her anger grows, she yells, You slimy bastards! She uses her free leg to kick free from Kabuto's grip and pulls out a regular kunai. She then throws it at Kabuto and yells, Get out of my way! But Kabuto deflects the attack, but it was just a decoy, because now the girl's in his face as she yells, Fire style! Dragon Flame Bomb! Unleashing a massive stream of fire, point blank in Kabuto's face. He's scorched, falling to his knees. Nozumi touches down as she stares at Kabuto, pulling out her father's kunai. She throws it at him, but the kunai's movements were halted by Orochimaru using his tongue, grabbing the weapon. He insults the girl, saying, Oh, if it isn't Nozumi. It's a shame, but you must forgive me. I don't have time to play with you today. Hearing this, Nozumi's rage spikes. As her curse mark starts to spread throughout her body, she pulls out one of her father's scrolls and yells, Then make time, creep! She rushes him, but is soon stopped by Kabuto, who is fully healed. He grabs her legs and throws her towards a wall. She clings to it, using her chakra, and rushes in again, this time aiming for Kabuto. She unravels the scroll, and it reads oil. It sends out a rushing rapid torrent of oil that sweeps away Kabuto. The Sannin and Shizune jump out of the way, but Nozumi then jumps above Kabuto, all the while forming hand signs, as she yells, Fire style! Fireball Jutsu! But this time the Jutsu's power was enhanced by her curse mark. Kabuto was again emulated in a bath of flames, empowered by the oil. She then opens the scroll up and again yells, Uzumaki sealing technique, Abura! And the oil is immediately sucked back into the scroll, and Kabuto's body is left limp. As Nozumi is huffing, she turns towards Orochimaru and yells, You're gonna pay for what you did to Big Bro Itachi. Orochimaru laughs, which only pisses off Nozumi more. But Orochimaru takes this opportunity to taunt the girl further, saying, Speaking of Itachi, he's not dead, right? I'm positive he's not so weak as to die from that blade, wasting his valuable eyes and that body protecting you. Yes, he is alive, he must be. And when I return to the village, I'll make Itachi mine. At that second, Orochimaru was cut off, literally and physically. Where his hand was is now spurting blood. He looks down and it's on the ground. It was so fast he couldn't even register the pain. He then looks at Nozumi. The girl doesn't even have a weapon on her hands. He grits his teeth in frustration as Nozumi says, Don't you ever talk about Big Bro again like he's yours. She stares at him, her eyes red with anger and her cheek with a crimson stream rushing down. As Orochimaru looks closer, he smiles and says, Ah, the Mangekyo. So that's it. Her power does seem interesting though. Sending invisible blades of chakra that can slice through anything. Even my defenses didn't hold up. If she has that type of power, Even Kabuto wouldn't be able to heal from it if she cut off his head. And right on cue, Kabuto stands up, walking towards Orochimaru. He's healed once more, to Nozumi's discretion. As she yells, I remember you from the entrance exams, but I don't really care who you are. Get out of my way or things are going to get messy for you, Four Eyes. But Kabuto just ignores her, instead talking to Orochimaru. He says, Lord Orochimaru, I think it's best for us to retreat. I doubt that girl is here alone. Orochimaru smiles as he turns to Tsunade and says, think about it, Tsunade. We'll let you know where to meet. The time will be a week from now. But Nozumi yells, you're not going anywhere, Snake! But she falls to her knees, gasping for air, and Orochimaru laughs. Oh, my sweet Nozumi. You never took into account the immense chakra drain of your visual powers, have you? But don't fret. We will meet again. Orochimaru and Kabuto then disappear, while Nozumi pounds her fist in the ground in frustration. Shizune says, Lady Tsunade, we need to help her. But Tsunade is frozen in place, staring at the pool of blood where Orochimaru's hand is laying on the ground. Shizune notices it, walking over to the pool and burning the hand and the blood. She then walks over to the little girl, wiping the blood off of her face from where her Mangekyo's eye bled. She then turns, carrying the little girl over to Tsunade, saying, I know I'm never the one to suggest this, but Lady Tsunade, you look like you could really use a drink right now. Tsunade doesn't say anything, just nodding, going along with Shizune. As they walk into a bar, they sit down, and Nozumi asks could she get something to eat too. Shizune smiles, ordering her a kid's meal, and Tsunade gets some drinks. As Tsunade finishes her first bottle of sake, she slams it down on the table, looking at the girl who gratefully eats her fries. She tells her, So, who are you, kid? You're obviously from the Leaf. And Nozumi smiles. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Nozumi, and I'm here with my team. We were actually looking for you. The pervy sage wants to ask you something, but there's something I need to ask you first. Tsunade finishes another cup of sake, asking the waiter for more. She then turns to the girl, asking what is it, and Nozumi tightens the grip on her fries. As she says, you see, that snake, the jerk Orochimaru, he attacked our village, and the Hokage, and Big Bro Itachi, and so many other people. They're all in critical condition. And after you healed them, could you teach me? I was told you were the best, and you were insanely strong. I need to learn how to protect my friends, so please. Tsunade stares at the girl, before stating, who said I was going? Yeah, I'm telling you, pervy sage, I saw her chakra signature in here. Tsunade was cut off by the very loud boy entering the bar. As Nozumi jumps up smiling, she yells, Naruto, over here! And that's when Jiraiya and Tsunade see each other. The two stare for a second before Naruto cuts the corner and says, Wow, great job, Nozumi! You found her! And she really is huge. But she says that's not all. Nozumi then explains her encounter with Orochimaru and Kabuto. The girl's silent as Jiraiya sits down and Tsunade groans. Ugh. Who said you can sit down, Jiraiya? I've had enough reunions for one day. But Jiraiya just ignores that. He smiles and laughs. Oh, come now, Tsunade. You heard Nozumi. He then pinches her cheek, smiling, while he continues. Are you saying you're really going to say no to a face like that? She smacks his hands away, calling him a weirdo. Naruto laughs, and Sasuke silently steals their food, while Tsunade finishes her third cup of sake, while running her fingers across the top. She says, I'm not going back to the Leaf, Jiraiya, to be governed by those ignorant fools like the elders and the Hokage, sending good men and children on suicide missions. I refuse to be held under their laws. But Naruto yells at her, My dad never sent anyone on a death mission. He never comes home just so he can make sure everyone on a mission is perfectly equipped to handle it. Don't you dare badmouth him. But Tsunade smiles as she states, Oh, a little touchy, huh? So you're Hokage's brat. Well, if your dad's anything like you, he must be the worst Hokage the Leaf's ever seen. But Naruto, having a shorter temper than even Tsunade, jumps on the table, but Jiraiya and Sasuke hold him back as he yells, "Let me go! I don't care who this lady is! I'm gonna teach her some manners." Tsunade then stands, placing her foot on the table, getting in Naruto's face, and says, "Really now, kid, if you think you got what it takes, face me outside. I need to blow off some steam." Naruto pounds his fists together, rearing to go. He yells gladly. Following her outside, he stands across from her as he yells further, "When I win, you're gonna take back everything you said and heal the people of the Leaf." And Tsunade smiles. "And when I win, I think I'll keep all the money in your wallet." Naruto checks his back pocket and feels that it's empty. He then looks at Tsunade's hand, and she's holding his fat, frog-like wallet. He then grits his teeth and cracks his knuckles as he says, "You know, it's actually pretty lucky, since you're a medical ninja and all like that, because you're going to have more than a few scrapes and bruises when I'm done." Tsunade laughs at the boy's threat, joking that she'll only need one finger. Naruto activates his Fumingan as he says, Yeah, keep talking big, and we'll see how long you can hold up." That's when Shizune yells begin, and Naruto starts running at her at high speeds, but she holds out her finger and flicks his forehead, but it was just a clone. It poofs into smoke, and she questions, when the hell did he have time to do that? But Naruto appears behind her from a seal he placed with his Fumingan, holding his Rasengan a foot away from her. She has to think quick. She knows this is a dangerous jutsu, and this kid has mastered it. She splits the ground underneath him, causing Naruto to trip. He falls, slamming the Rasengan into the ground, carving a relatively large circular hole into the surface of the earth. Tsunade then picks him up and flicks Naruto further away. As he rolls, tumbling further and faster, he pulls out a kunai, slams it into the ground to slow his momentum. As he gains his footing, he stands, but immediately falls down to his knees under his own weight. Her flick did some damage, but he's not done yet. He needs to be faster. He needs to be stronger. He bangs his head onto the ground to the point where he starts to bleed from behind his headband. And Tsunade, her voice a little shaky, yells at the boy, What the hell's wrong with you?" Naruto looks confused, but he smiles. "After that flick, my body went numb, so I had to smack some sense into myself. But more importantly, what the hell is wrong with you? You look like you've seen a ghost." Shizune walks over to Naruto, holding a napkin for him to clean his own blood. As she states, "My lady has an aversion to blood. When she sees it, she gets petrified." Naruto looks at her, then back at Tsunade. He grabs a napkin, takes his headband, lifts it, and cleans his blood from his forehead, and then pulls the headband down. He then looks back at Tsunade and says, "Okay, are we good now? Because I really want to get back to kicking your ass." Tsunade shakes her head, her senses coming back to her. As she states, "You know I'm stronger than you, right? You should be using every advantage you have. Why are you fighting fair, brat?" Naruto shakes his head, saying no. "How would that work? If I cheated to win, how would that teach you a lesson? If I'm going to win, I'll do it fair and square, so you have no choice but to accept it. After all, I'm going to be Hokage better than my old man, so you just need to get ready, because I come up with a new technique that's going to wipe the floor with you." Tsunade just stares at Naruto as he says this. She's lost in the image of Naruto. She sees those that she's lost in the image of Naruto as well. She smiles as she states, "You know what? I actually think I'm starting to like you, kid. Fine. I'll meet you head on." She uncurls her hands and tightens her fist, getting into a proper fighting stance, no longer trying to humiliate Naruto. And Naruto tightens his headband, not letting any blood leak out from behind it. As he yells, "Multi-Shadow Clone Jutsu!" the clones all rush her, using their widened field of vision and their Fumingan to place seals everywhere on the battlefield. The clones are teleporting all over the place and popping out only to attack her. She's able to respond in kind, destroying them as they get too close. But as they are destroyed, Tsunade finds that she's in a giant cloud of smoke. It was a diversion. She closes her eyes, since at this moment they're useless. And when she hears the violent swirling of wind getting gradually closer to her, the cloud starts to swirl up. She trips up Naruto, causing him to tumble into a wall, atomizing that wall, leaving no trace of it. She notices how powerful that jutsu was. So does Nozumi, Sasuke, and Jiraiya. They all watch in awe as Naruto gasps for air. He expended a lot of chakra, but he's not done yet. He has more. He rushes her. She wonders what he's doing. Is it another trick? But Naruto then throws a kunai that she easily dodges. But Naruto teleports to that kunai even faster than before, using a pure flying Raijin technique. Not an imitation like he's been doing with his clones. He doesn't have enough chakra for another jutsu, but he can punch her. Sorry. He can punch her. He uses Fumingan to see the flow of chakra inside of her body. He notices that she uses her chakra to enhance her physical strength. So he does much of the same to his best ability, gathering all the chakra in his right hand. As he throws a punch, it knocks Tsunade back a few feet. But he falls to the ground, not having the strength left to stand. Tsunade then stands above him. Naruto prepares himself for a hard hit to the face. But she just kneels down, pulling off his headband, seeing the open wound in the boy's forehead. And her usual aversion to blood isn't there. She doesn't reel. She doesn't get petrified. She simply taps the boy's forehead, healing his wound. Then bends down beside him to say, "Kid, you lost. But I'm a gambler. So how about we make it double or nothing?" Naruto groans, asking, "What do you mean?" And Tsunade sweetly smiles at the boy, saying, "That jutsu you used, it's powerful, but it's unfinished. If you can master it in, let's say, a week, I'll keep my end of the bargain. And I'll even give you my necklace. But if I win, I get 2 months worth of your pay." Naruto smiles, holding his fist up, gently placing it on her forehead where her diamond is, just like her little brother used to do. As he tells her, "Then you can kiss that necklace goodbye." She smiles, tears silently forming in the corners of her eyes. But she then laughs, saying, "Oh, but I'm keeping your money in the meantime." Naruto yells, "Wait, what? No, that's not fair!" She kisses Naruto on the forehead, then chops him in the neck, putting him to sleep. She then turns towards Jiraiya, saying, "We need to talk." And Jiraiya smiles. And I think that's where we're going to end this one for today. How did you like it? Did you hate it? What's your rating? I feel like this one was really cool. It was really fun to write. I'm getting a lot of practice at writing interpersonal relationships with characters. After knowing Tsunade's background, and I'm going to be honest, in the Goku Vegeta story, I think I did it very realistically. Like, Naruto won that fight, so Tsunade wouldn't have any choice but to follow Naruto to the village, so they never met Orochimaru, so they never fought with Orochimaru. But in this story, all 4 of these main characters that are happening right now, that being Naruto, Sasuke, Tsunade, and Jiraiya, and Nozumi, like all 5 of these characters, I should say, have a very personal connection with Orochimaru right now. Naruto, Sasuke, and Nozumi hate him, essentially. This man attacked their village, almost killed their big brother, almost killed Naruto's pops. I think they deserve that level of closure. I think they need to see the difference between where they are right now and where the Sannin are right now. So I'm going to need to have this fight happen. So I didn't want to get rid of that fight. I need them to see it. But other than that, just a few things I want to say. As I said in the beginning, there is going to be, when the time skip happens in this What If, when Sasuke leaves the village, which isn't going to happen in this one, It's not a spoiler to say this. I've been saying it a lot everywhere, but when Sasuke leaves the village, it's not going to happen. Something else is going to happen there. There's going to be a small break in this What If series. And I'm bringing back the What If Goku and Vegeta trained Naruto and Sasuke What If. So if you love that one, hope you're happy that it's coming back. I've been working pretty hard on it. And I think it's going to do some pretty big numbers and get a lot of people watching it again. Also, I'm planning on doing a like how a lot of What If YouTubers do it, like a movie type thing. Like you just put all the parts in one. But as I'm editing it, it is so much memory. I need to buy another flash drive or a hard drive or whatever it is, because oh my god, you know the video's like, I'm like halfway through the video and it's already 3 hours. That video's most likely going to be like an 8-hour long video. It's ridiculous how long the first parts were. Like they were hours long on their own. Like I don't think I've realized that, but these parts have gotten shorter. God. Other than that, man, I hope y'all have a nice day. Understand that I love y'all and I hope everything's going right for y'all. I don't have much to say, so I should say goodbye.
OnoKage out.
Peace.
Nobody speak, nobody get choked. If he run the home, he gonna get smoked. No time for the lame ass jokes. I'm the GOAT. You a gringo when that story's been told. I make money moves, controlling every view. Oh no, you got hella crew, but no one's helping you. What's wrong? Now you on your own, you really want to smoke? Oh no, Chico really done did wrong. What's wrong? The yellow meta in the sky list, bro. Keep talking crazy, I might go post though. Always trouble when they go too far. Nobody mess with me familiar.